What's up guys, it is finally a tutorial day. Here you can see two examples of what we will be doing today. As you can see, we will need a stock image as well as C4D render. Check the description, I'll leave some links to some real nice resources. And once you find a proper stock, open it up in Photoshop and let's get started. Create a new file, choose the dimensions, whatever you like actually. I'll just use 480 by 280. Drag in your image, resize it if you need. I'll just leave it like this. And right after the start, I think I will add a curves layer because I feel like it needs, like this image needs more contrast. Yeah, this looks better. We'll merge it down, Ctrl+E, and here we have a nice stock. Okay, so first thing is actually a stock, and the second thing you will need is a C4D render. I noticed that bio C4Ds work really great with this style, so I really recommend them. Here are the bio renders. And this one in particular works real well. I'll just remove this part of it and erase some of this. Okay, now drag this in, Ctrl+T and resize it. I think that's a real nice placement because it really goes well with model's figure and just looks quite natural. You can just simply erase parts you don't like, just like this. Okay, and once you place your C4D, we will work on blending it in. So create a new layer above it, create a clipping mask, so right click on this layer and create clipping mask. Now select your brush tool, size around 50 pixels, doesn't really matter much. And with white color selected, or whatever color is in your background of the C4D, just blend it in. Brush a few times just like this and set this layer on soft light, and now you can lower its opacity if you need to, so I'll leave it on like 60%, or you can leave the layer on 100%. Let me delete all this and just modify opacity of your brush. I think this would be more convenient. I'll make it on 40%. This layer set on soft light, white color selected, and just brushing it like this. Also, if you need, you can change the color of your C4D to match your stock color scheme, so in my case that would be something red/orange, just warm colors in general. I think I'll make it something like this. Yeah, that should work. Okay, now I will select my eraser tool, hardness on 0%, increase the size a bit, and I will just erase a few times here. Nah, that doesn't look good at all, so I guess I'll leave it as it is, but instead I will create another clipping mask. So once you have a clipping mask above it already, you can just click this new layer icon and it will create a clipping mask automatically. Okay, so I'll change my brush opacity to 20% and leave this layer on normal. Actually, I will decrease opacity to even more, so 10%. Okay, just like that. So next thing is gonna be some smudge. So create a new layer above everything. Select your brush tool. Don't forget to set opacity back to 100 if you changed it. And this time select a hard brush around, let's see, 10 pixels or 15. And now it doesn't matter which color you pick, just make a few brush strokes that would go with your C4D flow. And in the areas that are quite empty at the moment. I'll just set size jitter control on pen pressure because I'm using a tablet. If you're using a mouse, just don't do this because it will have no impact. Okay, so those are my brush strokes. Now it's time to smudge them. So select your smudge tool. I will use a 9 pixel hard round brush around 90 strength. Here are my settings, nothing special really. And just smudge those brush strokes to go well with your C4D flow. I'll just speed it up here. Okay, I'll talk about the smudge now. So first of all, make sure that the smudge that is supposed to be in front of your focal, there are no space between your modal and the actual smudge, because let me show what I mean. If it was like this, it just wouldn't look great, wouldn't look good, and it wouldn't help with blending at all. And on the other side, try to make it like it's behind your focal, just in terms of depth. And yeah, it was quite rushed smudge, but I think that will do. Okay, now what you have to do is duplicate your C4D render, hit Ctrl+G, drag it up, and create a clipping mask. This will create a clipping mask to our smudge that we just did. And I think I will lighten up my C4D a bit, so it's not so dark, so I will hit Ctrl+U and increase the lightness a bit by like 5. Okay, so now move your C4D around so it covers all of your smudged parts, just like this. Okay, there we go. You can also make some smudge in this part. It will also help with blending, but I decided to leave it as it is. And one thing that bothers me is this part, so I will just make it sharper. Okay, just like this. I simply deleted some parts of it. Okay, now it's time to add some nice glowy effects. We will do that by creating a new layer, setting it on color dodge. Now pick a color of your color scheme. I recommend to pick something a bit darker. So in my case that would be dark red or dark orange. Select a larger brush, so around, let's say 80 pixels. Reduce the hardness to 0%, and now just brush a few times in few spots that you think would need glowing. The glow effect will get more intense the more things we add, so create a new layer again. Set it on linear dodge this time. Select a similar color you just did. But slightly lighter. And now brush again. Okay, just like that. Now it's time to add some bokeh. Just Google for bokeh or browse in DeviantArt. I would leave a link to the bokehs that I'm going to be using, but unfortunately I don't know where I got it from. But I'm sure you'll find some usable ones as well. Okay, so I will drag in my first bokeh now. resize it, and put it on soft light. I will lower the opacity to like 60% or 80 actually, yeah, I'll leave it on 80. And now I will erase some of the parts. You can adjust your eraser opacity so it doesn't erase quite as much stuff. And I think it's more convenient this way. Oh, and one more very important thing I forgot is to blur our background, so let's do that before we go further. So select your first layer, which is your stock. Now with your blur tool selected, just blur the background. Actually, I will create a backup copy of mine, just in case something happens. Okay, let's continue with Bokeh now. I will add my second one. I think I will do like 3 or 4. Oh, and by the way, bokehs adjust the colors real nicely if you use them properly. Because, for example, as you can see, this one is green, and I shouldn't leave it on green. Therefore, I will create a new layer above it, create clipping mask, set it on here. Now with my brush tool selected and a color of something from my color scheme, I will brush around here. And I will decrease its opacity to 40% or 20. And I will decrease this bokeh's opacity to 60%. Okay, just like that. Once again, erase some parts you don't like. And now I will add my last one, which would be this one, I think, or this one. Not sure which would work better. Resize it. And this time I will put it on overlay, but I will decrease its opacity drastically, so I'll leave it on like 20% or 30. Let's see how 30 looks. Yeah, I'll make it 25. And now I will just erase some parts again. Okay, let's work some more on those glowy effects. So create a new layer above everything and set it on linear dodge again. This time select brighter colors, so I will use something like this. Don't pick something too bright, or it will look just bad and low quality, just like this. You see, it looks like a plain brush stroke and nothing else. And we want a glowy effect. And it also helps with the blending. Okay, one more here. Okay, that should be good. Now it's time for adjustment layers. So add a gradient map. Select this one, purple and orange. Set it to soft light, decrease its opacity to whatever looks best. I'll leave mine on 20%. Add one more gradient map, this time select this one. And I found that this particular gradient map works real well with the style. Just set it on screen and lower its opacity to like 10% or even less if you need. Yeah, I'll leave it on 10%. Now I will add my third gradient map, which will be black and white one. This one just contrasts the whole image and brightens up bright stuff and darkens the shadows. And overall gives more sort of life to the whole tag. Of course you can lower its opacity if you want to, so I'll leave it on 80%, yeah, I think. And I don't like this part being too sharp, so I will select my brush tool, and with black color I will just brush here. Black color on adjustment layers works as an eraser on regular layers. Okay, I think I will add a warming filter. I'm not sure if it's real needed, but yeah, I'll add a 10% one. Also, I don't like this area being too bright and this area being too dark, so I will create a new layer, set it on soft light with my brush tool selected, and with white color I will brush in the dark area, and with black color I will brush in the area that seems too bright to me. Just before doing that I will decrease opacity to like 20%. Now let's just brush here and there. Okay, it's time to add your final touches like borders or text, and you are done. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more stuff. Thank you and bye.